Cipla Medpro is the third largest pharmaceutical company in South Africa with a market cap of 3.7 billion rand. Cipla provides medicines locally, which are mostly manufactured by Cipla India. It reversed into the Enaleni Pharmaceuticals shell in 2008 and has a price to earnings ratio of 13 and a dividend yield of 1.7%. So, Peter, Cipla Medpro, is this one you'll be buying into at this stage?
Yeah, Cipla is a very interesting story at the moment. The business itself is going well, but they're under cautionary. And the market's kind of waiting to see what the outcome of that is, because might well result in some value creation for shareholders.
Cautionary takeover target, would you say?
Possibly. I mean, there's speculation that it's Cipla India, either taking all or half of the business out. About 3 years ago, Cipla India were getting about 25% of the pharmaceutical factory in Cipla South Africa. And that got stopped, and we were told they were doing, there was a bigger deal in prospect.
So they've got a cautionary out as well as a profit warning earlier this week, seeing a first half profit down by about 38%.
Yeah, the earnings have been a bit choppy over the years.
But that's not real, I mean, that's not the headline number.
Look, Jerome Smith, the CEO, has always been an interesting character for me because, they put the business into Enaleni, which was a bit of a dodgy initial listing. It had that Reckitt Benckiser plant in Durban, which they've had issues with subsequently. For me, I mean, clearly the relationship with Cipla India is the key, and it worried me a lot when Cipla India allowed a conversation to persist with Adcock. But coming back to what happens now and what happens next, I mean, they are under cautionary, whether or not the earnings are going to be what people want. But I mean, again, it's in a great industry. It's done extremely well. It's registered lots of new products. They've had great commercial success, particularly with, asthma-based and all sorts of other stuff. So I like the margins, but it's a little bit uncertain to know whether the market price is already kind of reflecting the excitement you're talking about or not.
Yeah. I think to put it in context, this year, Aspen will make about 7 rand. Cipla will make about 70 cents. So, when you look at Aspen at 144 rand, on that basis, if Cipla was the same, it would be sitting at 14 rand a share. And it's sitting at 8 rand a share. So you can see the discount that it's trading to something like Aspen. I'm not suggesting it's nearly as good a business as Aspen in terms of its global footprint. It basically is restrained to South Africa and surrounding areas. But a fantastic business model. They get the pipeline, all the R&D spent by Cipla India, gets shipped into South Africa. They double the price and pay the Indian company 180 days later.
What do you make?
And make a 30% margin.
What do you make of the African expansion? Are they that aggressive on the African continent?
No, it's not a huge part of their plan. They're so busy with a pipeline coming from India. And they really, the constraint to the business at the moment is they're sitting with a huge amount of product sitting at the MCC. We talked about it earlier, which they just can't get out the doors. And that's really where the growth will come from.
All right.
But this year they'll grow by 30-odd%.
Looking pretty positive on Cipla there. If we look at the share price right now, like you say, it's about just over 8 rand.
Exactly. Yeah. And I mean, in the similar space, that's a 3-year chart, so you can see it's moved.
It's more than doubles, yeah.
Just describe for us, though, what Cipla India's global aspirations are. I mean, your sense that they're looking to expand all around the world. Africa's clearly not their only target.
What Cipla India do is they use distributors all over the world. So what's very interesting is in Australia, Aspen have in fact concluded the rights. So they're similar. They've got the Cipla Australia business, as Cipla Medpro has the Cipla South Africa business. And they tend to sell in their home market, but then have people representing them in those markets. But I think Africa is obviously seen as a big growth curve, particularly when you're in low-cost drugs. And I think they'd like to get more penetration into Africa. And Cipla, Cipla India is trading at a 23 PE multiple. Cipla is trading at about 11 or 12 multiple. So, from a corporate finance perspective, it's a nice acquisition for them.
Yeah.
So are you hot on Cipla, Peter? Hot or not?
Hot.
Oh, okay. That's a nice one. Hot or not, Paul?
I'm going to go not, just simply again because...
after that lovely story.
Yeah, no, it is quite compelling, I must say. But I've got to stick to my
principles. Do you want me to tell you one more time?
Yeah, maybe you should. Okay, so not hot on Cipla for you, Paul. So one hot and one not for Cipla.